Welcome back to the Big Fella Podcast. I'm your host, Noah Tanner, and today we're going to be talking about personal finance. Now, for those of you that don't know, I lost 110 pounds during COVID, and for the longest time, this was a weight loss channel. This was the only thing I talked about was weight loss. And over this past year, when I established the Big Fella brand, I've been coaching over 250 people through successful weight loss journeys, building muscle and transforming their health, and more importantly, transforming their confidence. But over this past year, I've worked with so many people across the United States and across the globe that are big fellas, the people that are trying to just be better human beings. Big fella, gender neutral term, by the way. People who are trying to be good people, that are trying to provide for their families and trying to feel better about themselves and stop people pleasing so much. And in these conversations, most recently with my clients, I've noticed that a lot of the topics are steering more and more towards personal finance and the economy, because people are hurting right now. Jobs are getting laid off. The inflation problem is only getting worse, and it feels like we are in for a whole bunch of hurt right now. And the people that I feel the worst for are the young people that are. I mean, I'm 24 and I do well enough for myself where I don't have to immediately worry about when my next meal is coming, or if I'm gonna have a roof over my head. But a lot of younger people are struggling with that, and they're struggling with direction, and they feel like things are hopeless. And when a large population, large chunk of your younger population starts thinking that things are hopeless, a lot of bad shit happens. So if I were a younger boy, man, woman, child, they, them, anybody, if I was a younger person trying to better my financial future in today's economy, here's everything that I would do. So in this video, we're going to go over the state of the world, the state of the US economy, and where I think it's going. Now, a couple things to get out of the way. This is not financial advice at all. I am a 24-year-old business owner who has learned a lot about personal investing and a lot about running a sole proprietor, one-man show business. Okay? I am not an owner of a corporation. I am not a millionaire. I just have been able to take my personal finances very seriously ever since I turned 18. I have a lot of luck that came into this as well, but I want to help you. I want to help you. I have nothing but your best interest in mind, because I've had this conversation with dozens of clients in the last few months. And whether it's starting a side business, making a little bit of extra income, or just trying to be someone that's going to stay ahead and not have to worry about their basic needs getting met, here's everything I would do in the next couple of years. Okay? So, today's economy. Are we in a recession? Yeah, I think we are. Now, there are literal indicators that actually dictate if we are in a recession or not. I think the only reason people aren't saying that we fully are, and it's not universally agreed upon, is the fact that the stock market has been inflated so much. There's a lot of quotes saying that currently the U.S. economy is just a bunch of old men hanging on and not letting anybody else have any of the wealth. Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what's happening. And a lot of the systems have been set up to help the boomers, to help the boomer generation, and it's sucking dry everyone that is Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z, or what's the new Gen Y? Are those all the fucking 5-year-olds now? Gen Y? I don't know. But yeah, I think we're in a recession. Cost of living is becoming a crisis for a lot of people. SNAP benefits are getting cut, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous if you ask me. The government is still shut down as I record this video, November 9th, 2025. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So are we in a recession? Hell yes, we're in a recession. The only reason people saying that we're not is because the stock market is still near all-time highs as I record this video. But the stock market... Let me just put the stock market into perspective for you. 16% of the United States' GDP is made up by NVIDIA. One company. That's an issue. And the vast majority of the S&P 500, which is an index of the top 500 U.S. companies, the vast majority of any sense of growth that comes from those companies, comes from that index fund, which is like the safe way to invest in the market. By the way, what I'm invested in mostly, the vast majority of the growth only comes from 6 or 7 companies. It doesn't come from the company 499, company 500, company 486. It comes from company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The other 490 companies are flat or red in the past year or so. So yes, we are in a bubble. And yes, I believe we're already in a recession. People are just going to start calling it a recession when the stocks drop and real estate crashes, right? That's the only thing. Now, Ideally, the way rates go, who knows what's going to actually happen with the rates, but maybe this eventually turns out to leading to somehow a future where homes get more affordable. I hope that is a possibility. I don't know if it's going to be. Also, I just saw something that came out today that Trump is teasing the idea with 50-year mortgages. If you think that that's a good idea, I'm telling you right now, it's not. It's not a good idea. Is it going to lower your month-to-month payments? Yes, but that means you're also going to be end up paying like probably north of $600,000 more on interest alone. Just interest, not towards your house. It's giving the creditors and the people offering your loans more opportunity to add more interest and for that interest to build, so then they end up making more money in the long run, and you end up in debt for 20 more years. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because we're in a weird spot right now. Okay. And the average person who's just trying to get by, who's just trying to make a little extra money, is struggling. Okay. And so if I'm a younger person, if I'm somebody in their 20s or somebody in their 30s who still feels like they need to purchase a house, who still feels like they need to be established to really set their families up properly, I have an interesting relationship with money, and I'm gonna start there and dive a little bit into it from that perspective. I grew up in a middle class to slightly lower middle class family. My parents were divorced. I never went without. My sister never went without. I always got a good Christmas, and I always had food in my stomach, and I always had a roof over my head and a warm bed. I was good. We were good. We had some toys. We had some screens when we got older. Things were good. But I saw the effect that it had on my parents. And I know for a fact my parents went without eating some nights. And I know for a fact that the cable got cut off a few times. And I know for a fact that, they had to go work some side jobs just to make sure that they can make ends meet by the end of the month. Okay. And that tore me apart to see as I got older. So I took my financial health very seriously. And during 2020, I studied everything I could about mortgages, about crypto, about the stock market, about the S&P 500, about index funds, and how to put my money somewhere safe. I ended up putting a lot of my money into the Roth IRA and to a basic investment account. And I spend most of my time investing into companies that are, most of it's index funds. I'm going to be honest. Now, not financial advice. That's just where I choose to put my money. And over the past 70, 100, 200 years, that's been a perfectly safe place to put your money. But now the US dollar has lost 10% of its buying power in the last year. The US dollar has lost 10% of its buying power in the last year. That's a problem. So that means your money is actively becoming less and less valuable. Its buying power is decreasing. That's why everything is more expensive. It's not that everything's getting more expensive, it's that the green that we have in our wallets is getting less and less valuable. Okay. Now, this is you can attribute to this to a cascade of things. The COVID pandemic and all the money printing that happened there had a massive effect on it. This is also, there are so many reasons playing into this right now. So many. The debt, the national debt, is a huge, 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 huge reason why. Right. So anyone who knows anything, any experts, let me put it that way, any experts in the personal finance and global finance field know that there's just kind of a shit soup storm just kind of swirling around the United States economy right now. And so there's a lot of doom and gloom that people are talking about constantly. And the sad part is some of it isn't doom and gloom. It's just the reality of the situation. But what do you as the average person do about it? Okay. So I have a couple different takes and a couple different opinions and beliefs that I think are going to help the average person get ahead. Okay. Now, first couple ones in financial practice, just I have to say them, even though if they seem obvious. Number one, if you do not have a budget, build a fucking budget. You can say you know how to budget your money. You don't know how to budget your money until you make a fucking budget. Make everyone in your family understand that budget. Because when you have a system to rely on, you know how much to predict and you know how to predict. Make that budget ultra conservative and yes, price in life shit happening. Okay. I just spent $1,000 of voluntary maintenance on my car over the past month because I want to keep that thing running for another 10 years. It is not glamorous. It is not pretty, but it gets me from point A to point B, and it's done me very well for the past 5 years. And I just bought a new car, so I figured, hey, might as well put maintenance into this one too. So I don't have random shit pop up. Maintain your vehicles, maintain your household. If you own your house, make a budget for at least 1% of the value of the home. put that into a repairs account, right? So if you own a $200,000 home, put aside at least $2,000 a year for something breaking, something going sideways. Make a budget that includes some of that life shit. I call that life tax, because the last thing you want to do is be taken aback by something that was maybe not preventable, maybe not predictable, but it's going to happen eventually, right? Like your water heater going out, or something breaking on the toilet, or something getting screwed up in the sink, or your tire going flat. Like that's going to happen. So make a budget that accounts for those life things. Okay. That's number one. Number two, job hop. Job hopping, again, a lot of this stuff seems incredibly obvious to most of you, and I understand that, but it's not obvious to everybody. And just because you've heard it doesn't mean you don't need to hear it again. Okay. Job hopping is the way to increase your overall salary at whatever industry that you're in. Okay. Also, I think benefits are something that a lot of people overlook right now, even though healthcare is in a very horrible position right now. So either way, job hopping for better benefits and a better salary is one of the surefire ways to increase your income working in the same industry with the same skill level. If you have experience in your field, always be looking for a better opportunity unless you are very comfortable with where you're at right now. Okay. Always be talking to people, always be networking, and make it very, very known to everyone around you what you do and what you're good at. Okay. So this is going to transition me into some of the non-financial ways that are going to improve your financial health. And you're going to see where I'm at here in just a second. Last couple of actual literal finance tips. Spend less than you make. Cut all the extra bullshit subscriptions out of your life. Cut the bloat. I have made budgets for clients. People always have money that they don't need to spend on stupid shit. Stop spending money on stupid shit. This could be your livelihood on the line. Your livelihood is worth more than a $15 fucking Hulu subscription. Is it not going to help that much? Sure, but it's going to help more than hurt, right? If you're not using Hulu every single day of your life, fucking cut it. Streaming services, piracy, all of those things exist. All right, there are ways around it. YouTube has so much entertainment for free. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. Okay. Cut your expenses, make a budget, learn how to job hop, and make your network know what you do and what you're good at. Okay. Invest your excess money into assets. Have a 6 to 12 month emergency fund. Look at your expense ratio. Look at how much money you spend every month to run your life. Cut that down until the only things that you absolutely need, and then multiply that by 6. That was how big your emergency fund should be. Okay. Nowadays, I think realistically for a young family, it should be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. Now, it might sound like a very daunting amount. If you're solo, it can be less than that. Okay. But it's probably less than that. I think 10 to 15K is plenty for an emergency fund. An emergency fund. Like that's going to the hospital, car completely dies and I need to buy a new one. That's what that money is for. Right? Or I get laid off and I need to make sure I can be covered for the next few months. Right? That's what that money is for. Once you have an emergency fund established and you've gone through and made your budget, obviously you have to look at your debt. Hopefully you don't have very much debt. If you have any high interest consumer debt, target that first, because that is just eating away at your bottom line every single month. If you need to make some sacrifices in the short term for your long-term health, do it. Your money will never be worth more than it is right now. And your money just lost a ton of its value right now. You don't want to be that person buying Christmas presents or groceries on Klarna or layaway or financing the gas that they put in their car. Okay? No shame to anyone who does do that if it's out of necessity. But there are a lot of people who are in that position now in their 30s because they were irresponsible in their 20s. Your money will never be worth more than it is right now. Investing into assets, skills, and people are going to pay dividends in the next several decades of your life. Stop choosing short-term gratification and sacrificing long-term security for it. Okay? I'm not saying don't have fun. Budget the fun in. If it's to the point where you're getting worried sick about it, maybe you should actually build a system around it to make it a little bit better. Okay? Now, that's just some of the financial talk. I talked about business and everything else and starting a business in another podcast episode. So if you're interested in more about hearing about that, go check it out. Also, if you're still listening, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. I appreciate you listening. If you guys want to hear me more talk about the state of the world and economics and how to get ahead, then I'd be happy to do so. Now let's talk about the big part of this episode. Skills, networks, and people are assets. Okay, what is an asset? An asset is something that grows and makes your life better. Liability is something that takes away from that takes away from your wealth. Okay, so it depreciates in value. Assets grow in value. That's the basic understanding of what assets versus liabilities are. So people always say a car is not an asset. No, it is not. Why? Because cars depreciate in value. They go down in value. A house or a real estate property is an asset because it will grow in value if you repair it and make more improvements to the property itself. It grows in value. It's an asset. Okay. Holding a stock is an asset if it goes up, right? It's giving you opportunities for growing your money. Okay. But it's not always just about money because as we've kind of already established, our financial system is in a weird place right now. We don't know what's going to happen. So what can you do to protect yourself, protect your family, protect your friends, to ensure that no matter what happens going forward, whether it's just some rough times for a year or two and then things get better, or it's a full-blown fucking apocalypse, which isn't going to happen. But regardless, anywhere on that spectrum, the best way to protect yourself is gaining more skills. It has never been easier to gain any skill that you want. The internet, we blame a lot for doom scrolling, and we blame the internet a lot for a lot of our problems, and rightfully so. But the internet has also been the great equalizer for the people who are willing to take action. The internet has been the great equalizer. YouTube University is a wonderful thing. I learned most of my actual, like, literally ways to run my business through YouTube. I am a student and graduate of YouTube University. There are so many skills out there. Practical, business, tangible, household stuff. Learn skills. Learn how to repair your car. Learn how to do basic carpentry work. Learn a skill that interests you, that you want to be good at, that you feel like you should be good at. No matter what age you are. I don't care if you're 45 watching this. I don't care if you're 19 watching this. Yeah, this video is going to be targeted more towards the younger people, but this applies to literally everyone in the United States. Unless you're like 80. That's a little different. Shout out any 80-year-olds watching this. Skills are assets because they will never, ever, ever, ever leave you. It's like riding a bike. If you know how to change a tire, that's going to come up. That's going to help you solve a problem. It's going to make your life easier in the future. And that's just a very basic, bare bones example. But if you can have some income generating assets or some assets to where you can solve problems for other people, you can turn that into a business, or you can turn that into a way to barter or help yourself out in the future. Learn more skills. Make yourself more valuable. Point blank, period. Make yourself more valuable. Learn more hard skills and soft skills. Okay? I'm going to be honest with you. That's something I've been really trying to do more of this year. I'm trying to learn a lot more about cars. I'm trying to learn a lot more about carpentry. Trying to learn a lot more just about like basic self-defense because it's things that I want to know. It's things that I've invested a lot of time and energy into. It's things I've read about, watched a lot, but I'm taking action on them this year because I realized a lot of my strengths are soft skills and a lot of my strengths are, I do have a lot of hard skills that are strengths as well, but like my communication and my ability to talk to people is one of my biggest strengths. But I also want to make sure I have that security in knowing that, when fit hits the shan, if I have to be able to take care of everything myself, I can do it to a certain degree. Right? And I'm talking more in the tangible aspect of like shit breaking around the house, shit breaking on the car. Like, I'm going to be completely transparent with y'all. I changed my battery in my car a couple weeks ago, and I was incredibly proud of myself because I am not a car dude. It was very easy, but I'm not a car person at all. And changing that battery was a step ahead for me. I got comfortable with some of the sockets. I got comfortable with some of the wrenches. I got comfortable with them, which is something I can't say that I was before because I don't know shit about cars. But that's an example of a skill. Right? I know how to change a tire. I'm going to learn how to change my oil here in a couple weeks. I'm 24. I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know how to do it yet. But it's a skill I want to learn how to, so I don't have to be reliant on somebody else. Okay? Because the whole point of what we're trying to establish here is security and safety. The skills, network, assets, money, all of these things are to give you a feeling of safety and giving you a feeling of security. That's what you care about. That's why you're watching this video. You just want to make sure you're all right. And there's nothing wrong with that. So attain some skills, get some new ones, get some ones that you think are going to be valuable, things that are going to be valuable to you in your life and could be valuable to other people. Learn how to solve problems. Learn some fucking skills. Anything in the trades is going to be useful. Anything. Number 2, network. Learn how to network. Know everyone in your network. Know what they're good at. Constantly try to be connecting with people as much as you physically can. Always be connecting with people. Because if more people know what you're good at, if more people know you as a person and what you're trying to build toward that you can actually trust, the easier your life's going to be, the more people you're going to have to lean on, right? So on tough times, if I'm let's say in this theoretical example, I'm a plumber. My dad was a plumber, is a plumber. And if I'm good at plumbing and somebody that I know who's on tough times needs some plumbing work done, but they don't want to go to a company, so they're charged $1 million to go get looked at for 5 minutes. Hey, my buddy knows a plumber. Let me call him up and see if he can come help out. You could still get paid. They save some money, and you now have a connection of possible repeat customer in the future. That is a level of security because that gives you an extra blanket of a little bit of extra income, and it also helps them out, right? You can be a neighbor in your community. All of this requires the idea that you want to be a part of a community, because without that network, another word for network is community. I feel like that's a way that we've capitalized, like literally in the sense of capitalism. I feel like that's a way we've kind of skewed the idea of community. Like it's a network. The network and community, it's interchangeable, right? Don't just view everyone around you like, how can I make money off of them? View them, how can I help them? How can I serve them? If I can help the people in my community lose some weight, build some muscle, and understand how to get through some tough times, I'm gonna do it. If I can help my people and I can teach them how to invest their money, I'm gonna fucking do it. If I can help someone learn how to pay off their debt, I'm gonna do it. If I can teach somebody how to use a machine, I'm gonna do it. If I'm gonna teach somebody how to defend themselves in a one-on-one fight situation, like I teach. This sounds cringe and corny. You can call it cringe and corny all you fucking want. I have a younger sister and a younger female cousin. I have made sure that both of them know how to fucking defend themselves in a fight against a man, right? I make sure they know what to go for and how to defend themselves, because you never know what's going to happen. That's a skill. And now that gives me some security, and it gives them some security as well, because I trust the fact that they'll be able to defend themselves. So your community is more than a network. Lean on them. Be a neighbor. Be neighborly. The reason so many of us are miserable is because we feel so isolated. You have neighbors. Go talk to them. You have friends. Go talk to them. When you are in an area surrounded by like-minded people that just want the best for themselves, they just want to make sure they're good, and you can lean on each other. We grew up in a world, we were hearing about, oh, the neighbor's gonna bring me over a cup of sugar. The dog's about to jump off the couch. I got to make sure she doesn't break a leg. Okay, we're good. But we grew up in a world where we were hearing about, oh, let your neighbors lend you a cup of sugar. Or, oh, my buddy's got a plow truck. He'll come and plow our driveway when it becomes wintertime. Little things like this where you don't have to be transactional. You can just be helpful. If you can learn how to be helpful, you'll always be able to feed yourself and feed your family. If you can be helpful for other people, and you can learn how to help these other people in a multitude of ways and be an asset to your community, that community is going to give back to you in ways you will never understand. Because you'll have that security to lean on, to where if you're short a couple $100 on your bills, you can lean on that community. And that's what I think so many people like church for. Now, church gets a big dark bad connotation to it when you talk about religion and everything. I think church and religion is very miscued because of the humans that follow it. But at the core human element of what a church is and what a church I believe should be, it's helping the community. It's being a leader. It's being a place of community where you can lean on one another, and you can give back, and you can help others for free, and it doesn't have to involve money. You just help them for the sake of helping them, and you connect with others. And that community is going to give you the safety that you need, to where if you are short a couple $100 one month, you'll have people to ask, and they will give without even batting an eye. Because you never know when those times are going to come on to you. And when you can lean on the people around you, and you can be an asset to them, learn how to be a villager, and the village will come to you. And that's really it. That's kind of my best tips to somebody getting into this world financially, as a younger adult. Invest in your assets, cut your bullshit spending, and learn your skills, and build a community of people around you. If you can have real reliable friends, real reliable mentors, people to learn from. Drop your shame, drop the ego. There is no such thing as shame and ego when you're trying to improve yourself. Don't let it even be a factor. If you feel ignorant, I just shared with you the fact that I was proud of myself to change a battery in a car. Do you realize how easy it is to change a battery in a fucking car? It's not that hard. But I'm really proud of myself because I am the opposite of whatever a mechanic is. I don't know anything about cars. So it was a step in the right direction for me. I had to be a student, and I was, and I learned, and I learned from the people that know more than me, and I'm incredibly thankful for them. And it does not matter how much money you have in your bank account. And it might not matter even more in the future because our money is losing its currency. So learn skills like gardening, learn skills like cooking. These things will go a long way, but do not ever stop being a neighbor. Do not ever stop being a community member, because that is where your strength is truly going to come from. And if you are still trying to find progress and build your body, build your physique, build your business, build your lifestyle, you can do all of those things while still helping others, because anything truly worth building cannot be built alone. I love you. Keep it simple.